Good morning. This is Keep an Open Mind with Becky. Hope all is well. Hope everyone got a good night's rest. I feel like my clothes are looking weird today. I have been putting on makeup lately. I have not been feeling like putting on makeup, y'all. I don't feel like it. I'm like, Daddy, do I have to wear makeup today? He's like, no, you know. I was like, okay, cool, because I don't feel like wearing it today. But anyways, there is a story that I've been wanting to talk about. A little juicy, little fun. All right, I mean, I don't know if it's fun. But it's about the Bridgerton series. And you know what? We are all adults. If you're not able to watch Bridgerton, and you know, it does have a lot of intimacy in there. But I mean, anyways, if you're not mature enough to watch it, then don't watch it. But it is definitely a great love story. It just talks about the quarrels and the courting and how hard it, sometimes it's so hard to find love and all this great stuff. Well, then there's another separate season. It's called the Bridgerton Charlotte the Queen love story, I believe, something like that. But anyway, so there's a clip that I think I have it on one of my pages, but there's a clip that I'm gonna probably try to share it when I find it. I'm gonna see if I can share the link, but it's where they do a clip on the video, and it's this white and black couple, and she's on there, and he's like, I want you to leave, right? And she's like, I will not leave. He's like, I want you to leave. And she's like, no, you cannot make me. And then she goes into details like, perhaps that, that you leave me. What is it? Perhaps that you stay away from me because you love me. And I was just like, oh my God, this is so deep. Oh my God. Anyways, it was just such a romantic movie. And it was like true story though, y'all, because sometimes it's not gonna be perfect in your marriage. Like at the beginning, it might be rocky, okay? It might not even be no intimacy. And you don't really completely seal the deal. See, I didn't seal the deal in my second marriage. So when you don't seal the deal with consummating your marriage, then you're not considered married. And so anyways, but how it all started is that Queen Charlotte she was Princess Charlotte, and her brother sold her to a country for the great of England, I believe. I think it was England, right? Whatever. And they were trying something new, okay? Trying something new. God's always saying he's doing new things, new wonders, new signs, all right, crazy. And they were doing an experiment with a light, fair-complected black female with a white prince that's going to become king. And they were doing an experiment, and the experiment was that they were trying to breed children that didn't have his sickness or illness. Lord forgive me for saying, wait, I didn't want to share that part. Well, you know what is it now. They were trying to breed a better brand of children because of I guess whatever their hereditary is. They didn't have a good background with the health, so they wanted to try something different. So they were looking for a light skinned complected black female that had childbearing hips that could give birth to the nation. And so anyways, they had, she didn't want to get married at all. And so excuse me, sorry. She didn't want to get married. And she's like, why can't I stay with you, brother? Like, why can't I stay with you? So she was mad at him the whole time. And he's like, you got to do this for our country, and it'd be considered treason if we go back on our word. And she's just like, I love where I'm at, and I love everything. He's like, yeah, but we needed the money because their parents died when they were a young age, so her brother had to support it and take care of her. And he's like, well, we need the money for our country, and so we had to do what we have to do, so you're doing this for your country. It's your duty to your country to do this. And so she just, stayed quiet and will be quiet. And then she just, it's, I don't want to get into full detail just because it's a long season and the story can last forever at this point. But to summarize everything, she was trying to run before she got married. And I do believe that there are people who are running from their destiny, running from the love of their lives. There are women and men running from their significant other that God has for them because they don't really quite understand it. And God's like, it's for the great of the nations, for my kingdom, it's for my glory. And I know I was talking about counterfeits also. I just wanted to put in there because I was like, God brought to my attention. I don't want to say that God won't give you someone that's not difficult, because He will. He will give you a Beauty and a Beast situation. And the thing is, it took a lot of love to allow the Beast to be his true self. So I don't want to lie and be like, oh yeah, God's gonna give you somebody that is that's this and that. And there is no perfect love, y'all. There isn't. And only with God's help you can even fathom on what He has for you. And it may not be easy. So this Queen Charlotte story is going to be some of y'all's stories. Queen Charlotte of Bridgerton, she fought very hard for her marriage. It took a lot of work, and he had a mental health disorder that almost cost him to be king and cost him to be a husband. But she decided that she would love him no matter what, and she would make sure that he was a great king, and she would make him look good. And they went through a lot, but they ended up having, I think, like 9 or 11 kids. The son, the lovely, beautiful son. Okay. But some people are going to have that beautiful love story where they are going through a lot. So sometimes it may be really, really rough before it get really, really good. But it was just so much passion. And some of us are going to have to love people past their pain, past their darkness, their darkest skeletons in their closet. Some people, they love you. And they don't know what they did to deserve someone like you. And this could be a male, this could be a female. So often God will give you a mate that does not deserve you. But He knows that you are equipped to love this person. You are equipped to be with this person. You have everything that this person needs for them to be the greater of the nation. So not often that counterfeits, but when you are not, when you're with the counterfeit, you know that you're not serving purpose though. There's no blessings with counterfeit. Sometimes there's blessings from the devil, sometimes you're the blessing that they need. Like I was the blessing that kept us together, and after being treated horribly, they haven't really been blessed after that. So sometimes you're the blessing that keeps that union together, and they don't realize how valuable you are until you're gone. Because sometimes people speak all big and bad, and don't realize that God put y'all together to help each other. It's not always about you're together because of looks or financial purposes. Sometimes God just put 2 random people together for the greater the nation. He would choose people from different countries to come together for the greater the nation. God is making a love statement out here, y'all. He is making a statement on love, that love can happen anywhere. Love can happen. You could be on this side of the mountaintop, and on the other side of that mountaintop, God has a love for you. So I would not put God in the box, because God literally can do anything. That is way above our brain capacity. We only have 10% of God's brain. We don't have all the knowledge that he has for us. And some of the things I do believe God will give you the knowledge of, and he will give you little bits and pieces that you can't get from a book and you can't get from man. So let's not put God in the box and think he won't do it. So some of y'all are going to meet your mate from a different country. God is doing arranged marriages at this time, and you don't even know that you're a part of arranged marriage. And you know what I think is so beautiful? When God allows you to be a part of arranged marriage, and you both wait on the Lord, and you both have innocence, and you virgins, that's a beautiful thing, being a virgin before you are married, because it's just a rare thing now these days, and it's really sad. And that's why a lot of people get married so young. But we're at an age where getting married young is really just so hard, because it's a lot of responsibility, and then you find out that you don't even know who you are until you're like in your 30s, their 20s and 30s. You start changing after a while. But I completely feel that you should wait till you get to know who you are. I mean, God designed marriage different for everybody. It's not everybody's meant to get married later on in life. Some are just meant to get married as soon as possible. You know, as soon as God allows their mate to be in their lives, and they get married right after high school. Some people are meant to do that for their kingdom marriage, you know. It's just what runs into that. I have seen people like, I married my high school sweetheart, and I don't know why. Sad. It's sad. But then they end up getting back together like 18 years later. They still end up with their high school sweetheart. So that's why I keep saying, like, whoever God has for you, and he will let you go as far as marrying a whole counterfeit, and you will still end up with that same marriage that God has for you. It's crazy to me. You know, it's the truth. But I just want to let you know that God is going to do something unique in your marriage and your God ordained spouse. He's going to do something unique. And so I just want you to understand that for some of y'all, it's not going to be an easy love story. It's just not. It's going to be a lot of crying, and it may be really lonely, because some of y'all might get married to someone that's in the military. And I used to be a military wife. And, you know, I was a baby, like, when I got married. And I was just like, I'm 18. I've never been responsible for anything in my whole entire life. And I'm responsible with money and food and bills all by myself. And I was pregnant by myself. I was just like, this is a lot. I think I was overwhelmed. Honestly, I was so overwhelmed. And I was just like, I can't believe this man left me to go to the freaking war. I felt so bitter about it. I was so bitter that I was praying that man get out of the military. And you know what? It worked. My prayers worked. But I hate the fact that I prayed for that, because he has never been the same since, and we ended up getting divorced. So I highly suggest that when you say a loud statement, God will answer your prayers, but it may not be what you thought it was going to be. So I always say, God, if it be thy will, let it be thy done. Because let thy will be done. Because if it's not God's will for that man to get out of the military, let him stay in there. Because sometimes military men just need to stay military men. They're probably better off in the military than they are, you know, on regular God's green earth in the real world. You know, whatever. Let them serve till they die at this point. So, but anyways, long story short, some of you are not going to have the fairy tale beginning of a marriage. It's just not going to happen. I have a little Speedy Godzilla's woman. She's been on my tail since I started driving on the road, and I don't like her, and I just can't wait till she turns or something. She's just all up on me, and I'm like, clearly I'm not going to be able to go faster. I'm not getting a ticket for you. I already got a ticket, y'all. That's got to get paid before October the 1st. I don't know why she over here just all up on my tailbones. It's ridiculous. But anyways, I'll be like, back up. Okay? Give me 50 feet. Give me 50 feet. Give me 50 feet. All right, anyways. All right, let me stop. Get back to reality. I was just trying to watch her because she's just all on my tail. I'm like, you can pass me. I will be greatly. I mean, I might just pull over just so she can get away from me. I don't know if there's anybody behind you. I'm actually in the middle of doing something while I'm doing this video. I'm just trying to kill two birds with one stone, okay? Like David did with Goliath. But anyways, yeah, so as I was saying that, you know, like for me, I got married at 18 or 19. Yeah, 19. I just turned 19. Our marriage was rough. It was not a fairy tale marriage. It was actually, I wanted to get divorced the day that I got married because I don't never share this about my first marriage just because I don't really have words to say. I'm just gonna be honest. I guess I'll share this. I don't really like to share it. But when I first got married, before I got married, we were dating for 2.5 weeks. I've known him since I was 14 years old, though. But we didn't really talk to each other until like October the 31st. We met each other again after so long. And I was like, oh, you're in the military. I was like, oh, you got 3 jobs. I was like, okay. I know you since I was 14. And you know, you got 3 jobs, so you know how to hold down a job. He had an apartment. He had a car. His mom was nice. His dad was nice. The dog that they had that didn't like people loved me. And so I just thought, and then I had a dream that he was going to take care of me. I had a dream that he was my husband, okay? Like, I had a whole dream, okay? He was wearing white, and he was, like, bending down on one knee to propose to me. I had this dream and everything, right? And so 2.5 weeks, and I told him, you know, I want to get married. I don't want to burn in hell for having intimacy before marriage. I would like to be married, whatever. And so he married me, you know. His mom gave him a ring to propose to me, and we got married. So within the whole total of 2.5 weeks of being together. But before then, everybody was telling us don't get married, but his mom and dad, they were like, whatever, that's up to you, right? But my pastor at the time, she advised me to not get married. My grandfather at the time advised me to not get married. And I was like, well, we're not listening to y'all. We're going to listen to God. And I don't know if I was listening to God back then, but I was like, I want to do the right thing, you know, because I didn't know much about kingdom marriage, you know. But anyways, I was like, well, we're going to get married. And nobody really broke it down why that we should get married. Because at the time, people were not really talking about what the Lord says. People were just going on their instincts because of what they have to go through in a marriage. You know what I'm saying? They don't really tell you, like, this is where the YouTubers come in. This is where people like me come in. I've been married twice. People don't tell the truth until after the divorce. You know, like, or they don't even tell the young people why they say no. They don't even say anything. They don't go in detail. They don't pray. They don't do nothing. They just say straight out no. That's it. And then that's just what they want you to accept, the word no. And it's like, I'm not going to accept the word no. Like, you're going to have to give me a little bit more details on why as in no. I would rather them say because he's not the one that God has for you. But nobody said that. They just said no because probably we're too young. Because I was like, only a baby, you know. I was still breathing breast milk. Just keep that real. But anyways, stop. Okay. We get married anyways, okay? And I felt like the day we got married was like hell. It was hell. It was horrible. I don't know, my nose is starting to run for some reason. I forgot to bring something for my nose. Oh, Lord. Get it together. Hold on, put this on. I don't know where my stuff is at, y'all. My nose is running, and I'm like, what in the world? Let me put this on speed, whatchamacallit. Anyway, sorry. But anyway, so I was just like devastated, okay? So anyways, when we got married, first of all, I paid for our wedding certificate, and I paid for us to get married with my credit card. I used the last of my credit card to do that. Okay? And I don't know why I had to pay for it, for one. And I don't even know why he didn't have no money. You know, our first date was at Jack in the Box. That should have been a red flag right there. You know what I'm saying? Stop. I'm just joking. Alright, but anyways. So when we got married, I paid for it with my credit card because I didn't have any money either. So we were two broke people. I thought he had 3 jobs, right? He was working in the military, Brookshires, and Jack in the Box, okay? The day we got married, I had to beg this man to take me out to eat on my wedding day. I'm like, this is my wedding day. You can't even feed me. I just paid for the marriage license, and I paid for us to get married with the judge, and you won't even use your money to go take me out to eat. I was so hurt, and I was like, I want to go to Olive Garden, and I want some wine, because now I'm married, and this is my wedding day, and I want to celebrate it with some wine, because I'm married to you, I can drink wine. I know, right? I was like, this is the benefits of being married to somebody over the age of 21. So what are you telling me? Like, what? Anyways, he finally took me to, what did he take me to? Finally took me to, whatchamacallit? Oh my God, my brain today. Took me to Olive Garden, and, you know, whatever, tooth and nail. And then after that, I'm going to summarize it really quick because I'm about to meet my destination soon. But after that, we got married. We went back to, after we got done eating at Olive Garden, we went to our apartment now, because now we're together. And there was a eviction notice on the door. Oh, but that was not the icing on the top of the cake. It was also cold outside. It was kind of like freezing. It was freezing on the day that we got married, okay? This is where I felt like hell. Just hell was upon us at that time. And when we went back to his house, and there was an eviction notice, I'm like, I didn't know you were having money problems. Like, what? There's an eviction notice on the door. It's time for him to bounce, right? Oh, but that's not the icing on top of the cake. The electricity was off. So we had to go to the liquor store to go spend whatever little money we had to go get some alcohol so we can warm up from the alcohol, so we can be warm, because he had a window that was broken. And at the time, I didn't know why, but it was from an ex that he was with. He was with a crazy chick. She broke and cracked that window. And so that window was not closed. So now there's a hole in the window, and the electricity's off, and there's an eviction notice on the day that we get married. I'm just like, dude, I didn't know you were this broke. I would have never married you knowing that you were this bad in your finances. So we stayed there for like a day, okay? Then we had to move out and move in with his parents. And that was the worst mistake ever, because his mom was not a good mom at all. She was a horrible mother-in-law. I found out that she's been handling all his bills and taking his money. When he goes off, she goes in his account and used his money to go pay her little bills and then some. So this is why he's broke. She's over his finances. And if she watches this video, I don't care. And if she ever comes on my YouTube and family, I don't care. I'm going to tell it like it is. she was babying him and he didn't know how to take care of his finances. So it's for her to be funny, she goes, now that you're married, you can take over. She was horrible at his finances. And because of that, he lost everything the day we got married because his mom was not helping him keep it up. Let's just keep that real. Using his money to pay her little bills whenever her husband could pay their bills. Because he was spending his money with whoever he was with. Let's just keep that real. This is the mess that I didn't know that I was jumping into, okay? And let's put the other icing on top of the cake. I am a princess, okay? I went through a lot of crap before I turned 18 that I will never probably share a whole lot because that's going to be in a book. I'm not sharing everything on YouTube. Some things should just be in a book and you can just buy it. Anyhow, so that is what happened. So now I'm upset because I feel like he tricked me into marrying him. Like, he knew he was broke at the beginning. So now I'm a wife and I have to be his wife. And I'm like, I can get out of this, but I'm going to be strong. I'm going to not run. I'm not going to run because, you know, this has to be my husband. I had a dream that he was going to take care of me, you know, so I had to trust the process. And then I was part of a religion that was Church of Christ, where you are not allowed to divorce your spouse. You're not allowed to break up with them. If you do divorce, you're an adulterer, and you are not allowed to marry anybody else until that person dies. Like, this is the religion I'm in. This is why I ran straight away from that religion, because it's all bullcrap at this point. Not trying to be funny with y'all who are Church of Christ. It's not of God. Let's just keep that real. But hey, what works for everybody else don't work for everybody else, you know. Long story short, so I stay in this marriage for the duty of my religion. That's it. And I was not in love with him anymore after that. I did not even love that man anymore. I was just like, he tricked me. He tricked me. Because not to just, this is within a week time frame, okay? So then I start having these emotions that I've never had in my entire life, where I'm frustrated. I've never been frustrated because I was single for a long time, whatever. And I got upset, but I didn't really know how to express myself. I was really having a hard time expressing myself growing up because I just felt like my feelings were never valid. I hope I didn't pass up my dang, oh my God. Did I pass up? No, I didn't pass up my exit because I just got on here. But, I don't even know where I'm at because my ex is almost about to come up. But anyways, so long story short, the same week that we were married, we ended up having to move with his parents. And now I'm upset and frustrated. I'm feeling deceived. I'm feeling lied to. I'm feeling like this man lied to me to marry me so I could take on his debt. And I didn't have no debt when I got married to him. I didn't even know what debt was. I didn't have no bills, nothing. All I had was that little credit card. That's it. And I didn't have no debt. And so now I'm like, I am in a marriage with a debt that's not even mine. So now I'm just emotional. I don't even know how to feel. I got married. Everybody told me no. And now I'm just feeling emotional. So now I'm like, I want to talk about this situation. He gets home from work. Now, meanwhile, he gets off early, y'all. Okay? He gets home from work. And he just ignores me. He doesn't want to talk to me. And I'm like, you going to ignore me? Like, you're all I got right now. I literally got married when everybody told me to not marry you. And now you want to ignore me? So I'm pushing him to wake up. Like, wake up. I want to talk. So when I push him to wake up, to wake up like this man gets his hand and slaps the crap out of me. I want to say slap the S out of me, which that's how I felt. So, oh my God, I missed my exit again, y'all. I thought I was already on, almost 73. Okay. Oh, great. Oh, well, this sucks. I need to stop getting into these videos. I missed my exit again. Okay, well, it is what it is. I missed my exit. Oh well. This is important. So, anyways, long story short, we got married. He slapped the crap out of me when I was trying to wake him up because I'm upset. I want to talk about this. I don't believe in going to bed angry. And I just want to talk about what making me upset right now because I feel like I have an emotion that I couldn't explain. So he smacked the crap out of me and I had a busted lip. And my lip was bleeding. And I've never experienced a man touching me like that. I was devastated. I was so heartbroken because I was like, I marry you and you hit me. And he just acted like this is normal for him. This is normal. Like, and he's like, it's like it was okay. And then his stupid mother had the nerve to say, what did I do to make him hit me? I mean, I should have just slapped the crap out of her at that point. Let's just keep that real. She has never been a good mother-in-law. We be off and on, but she was a crappy mother-in-law and a crappy mom. And I'm just going to tell her like it is. Lord forgive me, but she was. She may be a great friend, maybe even a lover, but she is a horrible mother. I'm just being honest. She did not raise that boy right. But she goes and tell me, what did I do to get him to do that to me? And I'm just like, are you being for real? So now my mom, I had to call my mom, tell her what was going on. I didn't even tell anybody we were married at all, okay? I didn't tell anybody we were married until Thanksgiving or something. I can't remember. I don't know. It was a shock. Everybody was so heartbroken because it was my first marriage and I kept it a secret. I was a part of that lifetime story. But anyways, and so I was just like, great. This is great. So I went on ahead and just suffered the consequences and just stayed in that. Well, no, I didn't stay in that. I left, went back to my parents' house, stayed there. I was crying. Couldn't believe this had happened to me. I didn't even know what abuse was until I got with him. Until I got with him, but because I was in this religion where you're not allowed to divorce your significant other, I think after a week or two, I forgave him. He kept begging me to come back, saying he will never hit me again. This is what he said. He never hit me again. That's a lie. They hit you one time, they're gonna hit you again. But that's how my wedding week. Yeah. Now we went through all of that pain. I do believe that if he had gave himself to God, we would have still been married till this day. Because he stopped believing in Jesus once he went to Iraq. He stopped believing in Jesus, and our life has been hell ever since. And more hell. So, long story short, it was a really rough beginning of a marriage. So I'm just saying sometimes things do not go the way planned. Sometimes it will be a lot of ashes before beauty. But the thing is, if you suffer through all of that, and if God can deliver them from it, that's when God gets the glory. But when that person rejects God, they reject you as well. So the only thing I always say is that we would have been married still had he surrendered to God and asked God to help change him, had he went to counseling after he went to war. If he had just did the necessary things and worked at our marriage, we probably would still be married to this day. But he didn't. And that's why it failed. And that's why it didn't go well. And I was not about to stay in a marriage where someone was also attacking me. I never experienced abuse until I got married to them. Then he ended up cheating on me. But back in the day, Church of Christ, if you weren't there, why would you be there if they're in the act of cheating? Make that make sense. There's nothing in the Bible that says you have to be there when they're acting and cheating. What? Like, if you don't have concrete proof that they cheated on you, then you can't say they cheated on you. That's what they have. Even though I was talking to the whole female and looking at the text messages, but okay, that's not proof. That's what they say. That's why I'm not a Church of Christ member at all. Because there's too many phony, fake folks up in there, and I ain't about that life. And I have not had a good experience with Church of Christ members. I'm just going to be honest. They are super judgmental, and that's just not of God. at all. And I just can't deal with that. That's a stronghold all by itself. But anyways, so that is what happened with my journey. So I have, been going through that. So that's what happened to me. But anyways, that took a lot out of me to talk about that. So I'm gonna tell you right now, I hate talking about certain things. That is probably the top number one of mine. I don't like talking about that because that was a part of my life that hurt me so bad that I just didn't know how I was gonna make it. I had so many mixed emotions from that first marriage, so much toil. And you know what? I forgave him, but he still put me through more crap. And so I was just like, dear God, what did I do to deserve this type of person? Like, was I mean in my past life or something? What's going on here? And sometimes the devil will just throw curveballs and do whatever it takes to get you off your track where God wants you to have. And I just want you to know that sometimes it's not going to always be, roses and sunflower kisses, whatever. Sometimes it's not. But God said, I will make your beauty into ashes. I don't know if I can really continue on this message because that kind of made me super emotional and I don't want to cry on camera. So we will just be to be continue, and I hope that someone can learn from this. And I hope that, I will probably talk a little bit more about it later because I don't want to cry on here because I don't like to talk about that part of my life. But anyways, this is Keeping Open Mind with Becky. You have a great day. Bye.